They tie her down with these ropes so they can blight her. They turn her into something blighted and ugly and wrong. Some she was never supposed to be. I'm not the daughter my mother wanted. That Tosh, she was never really me.
Who is the real Tosh?
She is... They are... not a woman. Or a man. Oh. Thanks for coming.
She used she. You haven't told her yet.
I was going to. Then we got here and she was... like that.
You should be able to be yourself around her.
Huh.
Hey, you get to be who you are.
I know. I'll tell her.
When you're ready. On your terms.
Thanks.
The discourse around media and entertainment in 2024 has centered around a handful of key topics and themes. Discussions about inclusivity and representation are drowned out by the noise of heated arguments about identity politics, wokeness, tribalism, and political messaging in our movies and video games. Especially, it would seem, in the United States, which over the last decade has seen a drastic increase in political hostility and infighting between its political parties and citizens. In this video, I am going to focus on online video game discussion because it has become very frustrating and toxic, especially this year, and is something closer to me than general politics. I, a published fantasy author, am not skilled enough to write the script without touching on US politics. I will briefly describe the political climate from my point of view and get this part of the video out of the way as quickly as possible. In the interest of being as transparent as possible, I am a slightly right-leaning centrist, registered as a libertarian. I am a straight, white, cisgendered man, and I am 27 years old. I won't get into my exact voting history, but in the 3 presidential elections I have voted in, I have gone both ways. Those being 2016, 2020, and this year, 2024, where I did early voting with my family. I am a very opinionated person and have strong feelings on certain political issues. I just don't normally partake in political discussions online or in public because to me, who I vote for and why is a private matter. However, having access to the internet, I see a whole lot of discussions, debates, and outright arguments online. People love and hate politicians far more than they ought to. They support them how they support their favorite sports teams, but way worse. The Republican and Democratic parties of the United States have become cult-like in how they act toward both their enemies and their allies, and this is worse so within the communities of people living in the country. Flying a flag on the back of your pickup truck with another man's last name on it is just embarrassing. I once had a retail job where one of the regulars would come in with a wallet covered in photos of the Obamas, and I just wondered why. Why do you love them that much? It's okay to vote for them, it's okay to support them, it's okay to wear a t-shirt. But why do you revere them like you would your family or God? I just don't get it, personally. And this mentality and this tribalism has infected the political climate in the United States and maybe the rest of the world, I have no idea. People make it their entire personality and their entire life. And of course they go online and they argue about it and they threaten each other and they yell. Lately, I've noticed that this issue has bled into entertainment, particularly from my perspective, the video game industry. Inclusiveness and political messaging and things of that nature, and how they impact the quality and reception of major releases. With how US politics have heated up over the last few years, tensions and tempers are at an all-time high, and this bleeding over into video games is just exhausting. I'm sick of it. People are completely uncivil over totally trivial things, and anyone who is in the middle of an issue is lumped into the opposing side of whoever they're attempting to speak to. I can name one example of the console wars, one of the most childish things ever discussed on the internet. I am an Xbox guy. I always prioritize Xbox. When a new Xbox comes out, that's the console that I want. I don't have anything really against PlayStation, but when I see a post on X about how Xbox is superior and blah 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 because PlayStation sucks and doesn't have games or whatever, blah 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 blah, and I say, hey, why do you care? I'm an Xbox guy and I don't really care. I don't pay much attention to whatever PlayStation is doing or not doing, and they call me a pony and they tell me to kill myself or whatever. To cut into the meat of what I am talking about, recently, Dragon Age The Veilguard was released to a mountain of critical and commercial success. It is EA's best-selling game ever on Steam. Its review scores are all 10 out of 10s and 5 out of 5s. Also, having played it myself, I will say the game is just all around awesome. It's my new favorite Dragon Age game, finally dethroning Origins after 15 years. The combat is not only the best in Dragon Age history, but some of the best and most engaging ever in a video game. It's fun, cool, and interesting. I like the characters and the story, and I'd personally give the game maybe an 8 out of 10. I haven't finished it yet. People really like the game. The game is good. The game is fun. It runs well, which is... seems like a lot to ask for these days with how some AAA releases go. It's a really cool, fun RPG where you kick a lot of ass and you fight dragons. Yet, you wouldn't know how incredible this sprawling action RPG is and how wonderful the characters are based on the vocal minority online who are upset that the game includes a non-binary character. They claim that the reviews are paid off. They say that BioWare is giving up on the game after a quote-unquote poor release by not making any DLC, even though BioWare stated the game would have no DLC pre-release because of reception to Inquisition's true ending being locked behind a paywall. People are allowed to have opinions I disagree with. I don't care how you feel about non-binary or trans people. I could not care less. It is the harmful language and the outright lying, making things up or skewing perspectives to fit their narrative that seriously annoys me. It is toxic, it is stupid, and most of all, it is pointless. You don't gain anything from being like that. Nobody is going to like you more or give you any sort of reward. So why lie? Why say that it's having a poor release when it's the best-selling EA game ever on Steam? Why say it's a horrible game without playing it when all the reviews are saying 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10? I think I may actually have that answer. To quote somebody that people who hate on Vanguard would actually be a fan of, repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth. If you just say something over and over and over again, even if it isn't true, if you just keep hammering it into the global zeitgeist of society and the internet, eventually your message will get across and it will spread. If you tell enough people that a video game is bad, no matter what your reasons for saying so, some of them are bound to simply believe you. And then they will tell other people, and those people will tell other people, and so on. It just so happens that the internet and the world are currently in a white-hot, steaming social and political climate, and everybody wants to be angry about something and share their opinions. The angriest and most vocal of these individuals post their opinions on social media because that is where their idiot virus will be seen by and spread to the most people. And utilizing this false narrative that people don't like Dragon Age The Veilguard because it has a non-binary character as a vehicle, they can spread the underlying message that queer people are bad and don't belong. Art has always imitated life and been a reflection of the experiences that we go through as humans. It is very important for artists to use their platform to make people more aware of the struggles of others, so we may all become more accepting and grow as a society. Somebody with a properly formed brain and an open mind will play Dragon Age The Veilguard and move in the correct direction of getting it. The game does not make you trans. It doesn't tell you you should be non-binary. It just shows you what a non-binary person may be going through. And it allows you as the player to deal with that however you want to. You can mostly ignore it. You can be supportive. You can come out as trans yourself. I said at the beginning that I am a cisgendered straight man, and I am proudly so, but I appreciate seeing these other perspectives and situations that I would never understand otherwise in media and art. And I totally agree that there are certain things that overdo it. Some movies, some TV shows, some video games, they really do kind of shove it down your throat. And it's like, what's going on? What is this? What am I watching? But Dragon Age The Veilguard is not that. In my current playthrough, I just made my character me. He looks like me and he acts like me. And he is a straight, white, cisgendered man. And I am romancing a white, cisgendered woman. So I am allowed by the game to live out my fantasy and be the character I want to be. Why should the game not allow that experience for everybody? I'm really confused about that. Before the game came out, there was a whole thing about top surgery scars. A lot of people were upset that while making your character, you could, if you wanted to, add top surgery scars. And right now I'm just thinking, what if it was reversed? What if for a long time games didn't have beards? I have a beard. What if video games didn't have beards? And then one day a game came along and added beards in character creation. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. Now I can make my character look like me. Finally, I've been waiting and waiting through all these games that don't have beards, and finally I can make a character that looks like me. Why wouldn't you want that for everybody? I don't get it. And I ran out of script a while ago. I'm just rambling now. I don't understand the mentality of being angry over options. Because for so many years, and still to this day, all we want in our video games, especially role-playing games, is just more choices. Give me more choices when I make my character. Give me more choices in the dialogue. Give me more options and decisions and choices. When I'm making my character, I want to be able to make one leg longer than the other one. I want to be able to have prosthetics. I want to be able to have wings. I want to be able to have a dick that's 20 feet long. Like, why not? Fuck it, right? It's a horrible example for me to use in this context. But why not is my question. Why not have top surgery scars? Why take options away from people? If they removed beards, oh my God, I'd be upset. And BioWare, not that anyone who works at BioWare is going to watch this, put top surgery scars in every game now. in every Mass Effect, in every Dragon Age. More options for people who want them, people who need them. a lot of people like myself, we like to make ourself in the game, at least for our first playthrough. Just in case someone at BioWare is hearing my voice right now, the 3 save file thing, cut that out. Let me make as many characters as I want. You see, there are legitimate criticisms that are being overshadowed by stupid bullshit. Like, oh my god, they put a non-binary character in this game, I'm gonna melt. And by the way, people who hate on the game because of Tosh is hot. Dude. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out. I ran out of script when I said bad and don't belong. That was everything I've said since then was off the rip. Thank you for watching and listening. This is Kovich Crow, giving opinions nobody's gonna hear.